Can somebody please do me a favor? Please do me a favor. Do me one little favor. Send Monica Miley Cyrus song, I Can Buy Myself Flowers, so she can stop begging for them every single scene. Every. What's up, y'all? Welcome and welcome back to the channel. I'm Tammy. This is Tammy Talks. We are here for another Love is Blind Wednesday. So, we're going to talk Love is Blind Season 7, Episode 7, Truth Bombs. Before we do, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. If you typed in Tammy Talks Love is Blind, I'm talking to you. Hit that subscribe button. If you are back from episodes 1 through 6 and I popped up on your recommended tab, or on the Googler, or on Twitter, or on Facebook, or on Threads, or on Tumblr, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Shout out to everybody that subscribed last week. Y'all did y'all big one. All right, I hit 27,000 plus subscribers, so we are well on the way to 28,000 plus subscribers. So come on, join the family, hit that subscribe button, thumbs up the video. I want to aim for like 1,000 likes. If we can get 1,000 likes, if you have nothing to say in the comments, like the video so I know you stopped by. Comments. Y'all know snitches get stitches over here. No, but y'all did great last week with not spoiling. There were only like 2 or 3 that did. So shout out to y'all. No spoilers in the comments. Just watch the recap and then you'll know what I talked about and then you won't be confused about what's a spoiler or not. All right, let's get into it, y'all. Okay, so I like this episode. Really like this episode. One, because we didn't focus on Hannah and Nick D, and we didn't focus on Tim and Alex. They wrapped that up very nicely and moved it along. We got more in depth with Ramses and Marissa, and then Steven and Monica. Garrett and Taylor, but I feel like we got more in depth with some couples that we typically weren't focused on the first, like episodes 5 and 6 when they first got on the honeymoons. So the first part of the episode is all the couples going on all these little individual dates to kind of reconnect, rejuvenize. Let's act like we about to get married. So Tim and Alex. So Alex said that she is trying to be positive, okay? She said that she knew he was upset, but she didn't know how upset he was until he said it. This is my thing with Alex. Like, you kept saying you wanted to push him to see, like, how he would react in that moment. I guess I don't understand how you don't understand how upset somebody is when you go like this to them when they're talking. An adult. Hell, a child is going to be mad about that. A kid is going to pull your hand away. So I don't know. I feel like Alex lacks a certain degree of emotional awareness, not intelligence, but just awareness. Because, girl, Tim, on the other hand, is saying that he's willing to keep exploring the connection, but he woke up that morning fully being like, I'm done, I'm out of here, I'm about to go home. But the fact that Alex is now seeing his point of view, Alex now understands why he's upset. Tim, I guess, finds some solace in that, and he's like, okay, but she sees where I'm coming from, so we can work it out. He is still holding out faith and hoping that she will become his wife. Cool. Ashley and Tyler. Yes, before y'all say it, I heard about the Tyler allegations. Do not put spoilers in the chat. I heard that that Tyler, has all these kids running around, whatever the case. I'm going to go live this weekend. We'll talk about it then after all the episodes have aired, okay? So they go ride a camel. It was a short ride. I feel like they went by the foot. They didn't go no distance whatsoever. But they ride a camel. After they're done, Tyler asks her if he can see or she can see herself getting married in just the 3 weeks. And she's like, yes, I don't think I'll ever find another man like you. I think you're the only man for me. I think you are the only man that is going to treat me the way that I wanted to be treated. And I'm like, ugh. Now that we know what we know, I hate this for Ashley. Now, devil's advocate. Do we know that Tyler has not told her off mic that he has kids? Or I guess he's saying that he's just a sperm donor. But do we know off mic, off camera, that they haven't had this conversation? I don't know. I don't know. But he then asked if she can like, what do holidays look like? What are you thinking holidays are gonna look like for us? He said because last Christmas he sat at home and just cooked for himself, made himself, I think he said, a prime rib, and he chilled out. And she was like, facts, you know, I made crab cakes, I made Gouda mac, I chilled out by myself. But what she wants to do is have like some traditions. So one of their traditions that she had with her mom is they always made s'mores. So Tyler was like, cool. We can like, you know, do an ornament every year. We can watch old school Christmas movies. That's one of my traditions. Christmas Eve, I am watching some Christmas movies. I'm watching The Christmas Story, hands down. So she likes that idea. She done said that she's a big theme person, a big costume person. And he's like, bet, because me and the guys, we've already said that for Halloween, we about to go out and, you know, have a party, we kicking it. And she said, I could just go with you anywhere. I said, I guess you can go with him to the child support line too, says. Let me stop, because we so, Nick and Delulu, child, they are bungee jumping. I am over it. I am too through. I wish I would, one, go bungee jumping, and two, do it with somebody that I don't know like that. Nonetheless, they go bungee jumping. Kudos to them, because I could never, and I will never. Even though I want to skydive. I don't know. I know that there's a difference. Bungee jumping seemingly seems safe, but whenever I see somebody bungee jumping, y'all know what I think of? Hillary Banks, will you marry? We have all seen Fresh Prince, okay? Bungee jumping ain't for me. But Hannah said that bungee jumping gives her the same feeling as being in love. I said, girl, bye. Delulu, gone somewhere. Garrett and Taylor go to a glass blowing place. They're gonna make a fish. I guess then nothing happened because they show was like they're here, and then that was it. Steven and Monica, they're at a restaurant. Top of the episode, Monica started off by telling us Steven's gonna take me out for Mexican food, and Steven is giggly. I get to drive on these streets, and she's like, "Oh Lord, oh Lord." I don't like Monica. I don't like Monica. I think Monica, to me, Monica showed who she was the way she treated Steven last week when she felt that he was talking too much and she shushed him, and then basically low-key, very nice, nasty, cussed him out, and then sat there and stared at him in silence because she really didn't have nothing to say. So they're at the restaurant, and Monica's like, your actions aren't matching up with your words. You told me that you were going to buy me flowers all the time in the pods. And I'm thinking, damn, girl, ain't it like your second day? Now, should Steven have bought her some flowers by now? Sure. If you said you was going to do it, then yeah, you should have did it. But for you, I don't know. I didn't like the way that I don't know. I didn't like it. So Steven is like, look, yeah, I said that, but flowers to me was a metaphor. He's like, you know, it was a concept. I have a concept of a plan. Okay. He said flowers are a concept. It wouldn't be necessarily flowers, but just like a gift, a token of something of some sort. And Monica is like, well, gifts is one of my love languages. It's number 3. I said, you materialistic heifer. Anytime somebody says that receiving gifts is one of their love languages, go the other way. So, fine. You like to receive gifts as a love language. Cool. I'm not going to judge nobody's love language, but I'm not going to be with somebody that receiving gifts is that high up in your love language list. That's just me. And I love to give gifts. I buy people stuff all the time. But you telling me, yeah, I want gifts? Buy. The nerve, the gall, the audacity, the temerity. Girl, bye. So she said that she wants to feel special. And Steven is like, okay, gifts is last for me. He said, because, there were Christmases where, like, we didn't even get gifts. Like, I don't even know the last time I got a Christmas present. So Steven is probably more off of more sentimental things, memories. His could be acts of service, different things like that. So Monica said, well, look, I don't want the fact that you grew up poor and I got money. You ain't got no money, you lowly electrician, because that's really how she feels about him. But she's like, I don't want the fact that you don't have whatever to drive a wedge between us, right? He then said, look, I know you. I don't feel the need to buy you a super high quality purse like a Kate Spade. Kate Spade is a good brand. That's a good quality purse. But Steven, okay. Listen, Monica said, I don't want nothing. They got an outlet store. You can go to the outlet stores and get Kate Spade. Monica said, no. Don't buy me no Kate Spade, okay? She said that so quick. Monica said, look, I'm talking YSL. Get me a Louis V, baby. And Steven was like, what are those? Is that high quality? Have I heard of them? And I know he was being facetious when he said that, but it was also on some girl quit playing with me. And I like that Steven did that. Have I heard of those? I said, yeah, quit playing with him. Quit playing on that man's top like that, sis. Then gonna have the nerve to say, but I'm not materialistic. Heifer, yes, you are. Yes, you are. Because for him to mention a Kate Spade purse and for you to be like, don't buy me that YSL Louis V, girl, you want him to buy you a purse 3, 4, 5 times the limit of what a Kate Spade is? Bye, Monica. Sick of your ass. Because you doing too much now. You showing who you really are. So then, he's like, marriage is such a big deal. And he's not looking at her, he's looking out. And he said it's because he's thinking, but I don't know. And he said that, he's just, this is a lot that's happening. And she's like, are you having second thoughts? Because if you're having second thoughts, you can say you have second thoughts. Because if you're having second thoughts about me, and I'm like, girl, now who's not letting someone else talk and breathe? Like, let him get his thought out. So, now Steven does ramble, okay? But he wasn't rambling in this moment. So Steven is like, look, I'm just nervous because marriage is a big deal. And she was like, and I'm team Monica with this, Steven, Steve-O, Stefan, you know what you were signing up for. You knew what you were doing when you got on one knee to propose to her. So I felt Monica when she was like, look, I thought that whatever you had going on and that when you said you were so sure of this, that you went through all this in your head already. So the fact that you are so confused is troubling to me. And I'm sorry, but I have to be on Monica's side with that. Like, that is wild. So he said he doesn't want to feel overwhelmed when they are at the altar, and I don't want you to either, because if you feel overwhelmed at the altar, you're not ready to be married. She then starts talking. She's like, are you getting ready to cry? Now, them eyes did get a little glassy. I said, Steven? Oh, no. Now, instead of her reassuring him, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Like, we got this. We're in this together. Me and you must never part, okay? Instead of her doing that, she was like, you're having second thoughts. He's probably having second thoughts, Monica, because you are a mean ass bitch. That's why he's having second thoughts. Let's go to Tim and Alex. So Tim and Alex, so they're ATV riding, and they're going over a bridge. And I was with them. Whoa, this was not a part of what we signed up for. So they decide they're going to consider the bridge as a new beginning. So when they get over the bridge, they sit there, they're at the beach, and they're talking. And he tells her he still loves her, and they can leave what happened where it is and start anew. Good. We're going to start on a new foot. We're going to start fresh. We had a little tiff, a little scuffle, if you will, but we're going to leave that where it is, and we're gonna move forward, and we're gonna start fresh. So she then is like, "Are you coming back to the hotel room, or you want to keep staying separate?" He was like, "Yeah, I'll come back. I'll come back." And then she's like, "Okay, okay, you're coming back." And he's like, "Yeah, I'll come back." So he's like, "I think we'll be okay. Like, we got this, whatever." And she's like, "Are you excited to come back?" Alex, stay present in the conversation. Alex has kind of like a one track mind. Her goal is getting him back to the room. So she's completely ignoring the fact that he said he's coming back to the room, but he's also like, "Yeah, I'm gonna come back to the room, and I think we'll be okay." But all she's focused on is get him back to the room, get him back to the room. Yikes. So everybody's gonna meet up for dinner. We're all gonna hang out, right? So they're all sitting around, and we see Hannah talking shit about Nick D because that's what she does, whatever. But we also see Alex telling Monica and Ashley what happened with her and Tyler. And she was like, "Girl, he came back, he came back, he left, but he came back, we smoothed it over, so we're good now." So while they're getting ready to really get into some girl talk, there's fireworks outside. So of course, people love fireworks, right? So everybody gets up and it's like fireworks, and they all run on outside so they can see it. And Monica is tells Steven, who's talking to Garrett. Steven is talking to Garrett. She was like, "Steven, let's go." And he's like, "Yeah, yeah, I'll catch up with you. I'll be out there." I said, "You about to get it, Steven. She gonna spank you later. Cause when Monica says something, Monica means business. Okay, Monica gonna ragtag that ass later." So outside, everybody is kind of like coupled up. Steven and Garrett are still inside. And I mean, none of the couples were really together standing by each other but Marissa and Ramses. Everybody else was just kind of, standing outside enjoying it. So they come back in, and Monica was like, "Wow, that was romantic. Thanks for that moment." And I said, "You passive aggressive heifer." Monica is getting on my nerves. Steven, yes, again. Steven, you should have went out there. You should have went out there. But I feel like don't be passive aggressive. If you don't like that he did something, just say it point blank. You say everything else. So he tells her, "Sorry, I was talking to Garrett." Now, on one hand, Garrett ain't in dire straits of anything. Hell, Taylor didn't care apparently. But like, I feel like you could have easily just said, "Garrett, I'll be right back. Hold that thought." And went out to watch the fireworks, kiss her underneath the fireworks in the moonlight, and then you could have came back in. They were outside for all of like 5 minutes, to be real. So Monica is talking to the girls. The girls group up, the guys group up, and she tells the girls that, "Yeah, everything he does gets on my nerves." I said, "Ooh, okay." So Steven is nervous. So Steven comes over and he's like, "You okay? You good?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." So then she tells them, "He is so scared of me. Oh my God, he is so scared of me." Nothing to be proud of, sis. Excuse me. Nothing to be proud of. So Steven is scared. So he comes back over and was like, "Do you like sparkling water?" "I don't like sparkling water, but do you like sparkling water? Here's your water." I said, "Ooh, Steven." Here's your water. And she was like, "I don't, but I'll take it." I said, "Ooh, girl, nice, nasty." So Steven sits down, and it's like, "I'm sorry that, I missed the fireworks. Me and Garrett were having a moment. He needed to get something off his chest." And I'm like, way to throw Garrett under the bus, because Taylor is sitting there like this. A moment, you say? So Taylor is right there, and Steven is like, "Yeah, the way that his mind works, he's a physicist, and so he needs to have things in order, and A plus B." And I'm like, "Steven, what are we doing?" So he then says it would be rude to just leave Garrett hanging to go look at fireworks. And I'm like, That's one way to look at it, Steven. So Steven starts rambling, and I was with Monica. The fuck are we talking about, Steven? So he's like, I'm gonna bring it home. I'm gonna be the bird feeding the mama bird or feeding the baby bird like the mama bird with the worm. I said, look, what? Now, if this is what Monica is mad about, this type of rambling, high five, sis. Yes, because this made no sense. None of this made sense at all. So Monica got up and just walked away because she was over it. And then Steven is telling Taylor that he is scared by how fast the process is moving, but he does not doubt his love for Monica. Steven? Monica's rude, for sure. For sure. But Steven, you were wrong. You were wrong, my African king. Steven, you were wrong. You should have went to look at the fireworks with her. I think Steven is having doubts, and I think a lot of Steven's doubts and what Steven is going through the cold feet is, I think it's because Monica is not who he thought she was outside of the pods. So we then see Tim and Alex. So she's excited to get back to real life, but she is scared to live with him. And he's excited for her to see his house and his bedroom because it's a surprise in the bedroom. It's wow. And I'm like, okay. Delulu and Nick. So everybody's back. They're back home, right? So they're getting ready to start. They got their phones back. They got all their stuff to talking to their people. They have moved into the apartment. And where they're in there, Delulu said, I don't think you're going to do stuff around the house unless I tell you to. And Nick was like, do you think that if I put something in the garbage and I see that the garbage is full, then I'm not going to take the garbage out? And she was like, I don't know, but I don't think so. What about Nick has shown you that he won't do stuff like that? That's what I don't get. See, Delulu is one of those people, one of those women that she don't like Nick, right? We know that she doesn't like Nick. On top of that, she doesn't like him physically. And then on top of that, he hurt her feelings. Oh my God. The old lady called her jealous. And oh my God. So because Delulu got that in the forefront, not the back of her mind, the forefront of her brain, she is going to be rude to Nick. Why would this grown ass man, who I believe lives alone, why would he not take the garbage out when the garbage is full? So she then goes on to say, well, I'm more mature than you. Okay. And I was with Nick. So if you think that you're so much more mature than me, why would you have somebody that you think is immature come and move into your space? And she's like, I don't know. I think I'm more emotionally intelligent than you. Oh my God. Oh my God. And I said to Lulu, shut the fuck up. You sound stupid. You sound stupid. The passive aggressiveness that is going on this season is jarring. You can't possibly think that you're more emotionally intelligent than Nick D. You can't. Oh, okay, Nick D was a lot the first in the pods, but he hasn't done anything. He literally has not done anything. Certainly not to you. So then she's like, okay, can you mount a TV? Half of the average person can't. Let's not act like people out here mounting TVs every day, B. Don't do that. And he was like, no, can you? She never answered, but she can't cook. She said she makes a mean bowl of cereal. He's talking about how he can make, nice big salads. He can do steaks. And she's like, oh, a salad. Stephen and Monica. They're in their apartment, and once again, Monica is begging for flowers. We need to go grocery shopping. Okay? We got to get flowers. We got to get beer. We got to get more flowers. I said, Monica, girl, Miley Cyrus said it best. I can buy myself flowers. Go buy some. If I feel like if you have to keep asking a man for flowers, go get the fucking flowers yourself, sis. He's not gonna do it. I don't want something that I have to keep begging you for. You are begging for flowers at this point. Is it even gonna be meaningful if he brings you flowers now? Because I feel like you the type that'll be like, well, I said I like white roses and hydrangeas. These are tulips. So I mean, that's what I'm talking about, Steven. You don't listen. You don't listen. Like I just like he has made it clear that giving flowers is not something that he does. Quit asking for them. Quit asking for them. Because even then, he was like, okay, flowers. Maybe ask him what he has against flowers. Maybe do that. I don't know. We then get to Garrett and Taylor. So they're having this big thing about looking at each other's social media. I don't think Taylor necessarily likes Garrett either. That's not the vibe I get from her. But he's like, look, my Instagram is full of, like, all I do is work and then I go spearfishing. So his Instagram is full of fish. And she's like, oh, God. Girl, who cares? It is 2024. It is 2024. I don't care how somebody Instagram look. This is not 2012, okay? So they pull up his Instagram and he got pictures of fish on there that he's caught. And she's like making little jokes about one of them being black and white filter. And so we then get to Marissa and Ramsey's. So they're in bed and she wants to have a black wedding. So she wants all the guests to wear black. And then she wants to wear white with the groom wearing white so that she can pop at a wedding so that, you know, looks like she's glowing. And he's like, what is your infatuation with black? And she's like, I love the color black. Wear black. I said, oh, Marissa, I love the color black too. I like wearing black and all that type of stuff. By no means do I want my wedding to be black. Then she said that he's anti-black. And I said, girl, you can't joke about stuff like that on TV. Somebody's going to take that the wrong way. So Garrett and Taylor go to meet his family, okay? And his family seems nice. His mom got a little blonde skunk action in the front, but that's okay. His mom was very nice. So one of his people, I don't know if it was like a sister, aunt, cousin, whatever, she off rip was like, okay, Taylor, I heard your people not gonna come. How's that gonna work? I would say, ooh. But Taylor was like, yeah, my parents are nervous. They don't really want the cameras in their house. That's valid. That's fine. That's facts. Understood. So she's like, but they know how serious I am about this. They want to support me. So we are working on getting them there. And we saw in the trailer for this that he does meet her mom. Again, do not put spoilers in the chat if y'all have gotten to that episode already, please. No spoilers. So they just don't want to be, they were initially nervous about the cameras, apprehensive about the cameras, but they're good to go. Now, they claim that they are in alignment when it comes to raising kids. One thing that I thought was interesting about this entire scene, because I feel like nothing really happened. So Garrett is saying that in the real world, he would have never met Taylor because he works so much and he would have told her, hey, nice to meet you, whatever, but I don't have time to date, so like we can connect in like another month. And I just think that's weird because you make time for what you want. So if you honestly and truly really did like Taylor and you really did want to date her, you would have made the time. So for you to say now, yeah, it's great because I can see her a couple hours every day, and yeah, it's fine, it's great, it's awesome. I don't know about them. I don't know if they're going to work, to be honest. I don't know if they're going to work. So Garrett's mom starts to get a little glossy eyed. I said, oh, she about to cry. And she's saying how, look, I don't want you to get hurt, Garrett. Taylor, I don't want you to get hurt either. Like, and his mom gets overwhelmed, which we see. And she's like, Taylor, we will grow to love you. This is a lot. This is fast. And I feel like, yes, it's always odd to me when their families have this type of reaction and they seem not upset by it, but they seem like taken aback. And Taylor is like, "Well, all I can do was assure you that I love your son, and I see a long, fruitful marriage with us." And it's like, okay, again, it was a boring scene. Marissa and Ramsey. This is where we got some action. This entire conversation should have taken place in the pods. This entire conversation should have taken place in the pods. So, Ramses is cooking when she comes home, and she's happy because she hates cooking. She's complaining about the commute. So, apparently, she goes to school in Baltimore. Now, is she in school? I thought she was a lawyer or a law clerk. Whatever. She has a 2 hour commute, okay? So she tells him that she is happy that he is willing to move to Baltimore because she would never move down to DC because the drive is crazy. I do not like these conversations because we had the same conversation on what was it, the Denver season? No, the Portland season when they were in Portland and Seattle. Why go to a different city for this show, for this process to meet somebody and then be very unwilling to move? Marissa, if you are unwilling to move from Baltimore, I guess. So he can't cook. The noodles were hard. I don't know what he made, but I never understand how people undercook noodles like that. Nonetheless, so they're sitting down and they're talking, and he's like, "So, who's gonna marry us? What type of officiant are we looking for?" And she tells him, "Don't want a man. No shade, but no. Has to be a woman. Doesn't want it to be a religious person. She wants more of a spiritual person, and God can take a back seat." I said, "Ooh, ooh." I am a Christian. I am religious. That threw me. I was like, oh, it came off very rude. Came off very rude, very dismissive. Now, I believe that they did talk about like religion and spirituality, but he was there like, well, my mom is a Christian. My mom would be cringing if she heard that. So he grew up religious. I think he even said that he went to seminary school. Is that what he said? He went to seminary school, and he has just kind of grown away from the religion, grown away from religion as a whole. So she then goes on to say she doesn't hate religion, but when you go to church and God is white and it's very men centric, and then we find out that she grew up Mormon. So I'm like, okay, I can see that in your church, God was very white. I mean, I got the black Jesus. So my Jesus is black. I grew up Lutheran in a black Lutheran church. So for me, God was just always black. Yeah, we see the pictures of God being white, sure. My Jesus is black. In my parents' house, the Jesus that they got on their wall, he's black. So it's representation matters, okay? Your God is gonna, I mean, I'm not gonna get into it, but never mind. So she grew up Mormon, so I can see that. But what I got from this conversation is that Marissa is a super feminist. She seems very feminist to me. She doesn't want men for this. She doesn't like this. She doesn't like this. She doesn't like this. It's like patriarchy. She just seems like a very feminist person, and that's perfectly fine. So she doesn't. They then start talking about the military, and this is the portion of the conversation that again should have definitely been in the pods. So she is from the Navy, right? She worked on ships. She is saying how she doesn't support what the military does now. This is what she said, right? Ramsey then said he will always critique how the United States goes into these other countries and demobilizes them. I feel the same way. I think the United States, we be in other people's business, other countries' business way too much. We over trying to be Captain Save-A-Hole for every other country, but right here in these United States, there are people that are homeless. There are people that are living in poverty. Like, there's so much that we could be doing for our own people here. So I agree with that, right? But then the conversation is Marissa didn't realize that when she signed up for the military that we will be going over, she would be going over and killing people. So she was like, call me naive. Girl, you are. What the fuck are you talking about? You signed up for the Navy. You signed up for the service, for the military. What do you mean you didn't think that y'all would be killing other people? What did you think y'all were doing? And then she said she was in the service for 8 years. We were in a war 8 years ago. I don't know. This is naive. Then she said that she grew up on naval bases because apparently one of her parents, either her father or her mother, was in the service. So what did you expect? I feel like Marissa just be saying shit to hear herself talk. That doesn't make sense. So then she goes on and it's like, I feel like a hypocrite. You sound like one. Because now she's saying that she doesn't support what the military does and she doesn't support it, but I do support the troops. And it's like, what are indigo goblets? What are you drinking right now? So she's like, I'm uncomfy. I said, girl, shout out Big Goofy. Shout out Big Goofy. So then she said that she does support the troops and she does support the military and she doesn't want to be ashamed of her being in the service in the past. She doesn't want him to be ashamed of it. Marissa, it sounds like you're ashamed of it. What is going on? Is it me? Is it me? Am I the only one that was confused by this? None of this made sense whatsoever. He then tells her, I don't want you to be ashamed of it as long as the past stays in the past. So then she was like, well, I wanted to be in the reserves, but I think if I was in the reserves, we wouldn't work. And he was like, no, we wouldn't be together. Ramses is very anti-military. He doesn't support what they're doing. He doesn't support what the United States does to other countries when we are in war. That's a valid statement. That's fine. I have family that's been in the service. I support the troops. I thank the troops for their service, all that type of stuff. But I can see what he's saying. But Marissa, you sound like you're trying. It almost sounded like Marissa supports the troops, right? She supports the military. She is proud that she was in the Navy, and you should be, right? That's an honor. Not everybody can do that. That's an honor. You should be proud of what you have accomplished in the Navy. However, it sounds like Marissa is trying to appease Ramsey. She just wants to agree with him. And so she thought he would agree with her. So she kept changing her stance in the conversation, I think to try to align with him more. But when he didn't budge and he was like, no, that like he doesn't like it, he doesn't agree with it, he doesn't support it. I mean, it's wild to say you don't support the troops. But for him to say that, and then for her to be like, no, I do support the military. Girl, nobody told you you didn't have to. Did that conversation make sense to y'all? Is it me? I don't know. I feel like it just didn't make sense to me. But let me know what you guys thought about this episode. I gotta get to work. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode. Subscribe to the channel. Thumbs up the video. No spoilers in the chat. And I will be back for episode 8. Peace.